Hi everybody, welcome back to the journey of my YouTube channel, where today I am excited to introduce you to the books I got for Christmas. There are 8 books here, which I have cleverly and creatively turned to the side with just pages, which I have definitely seen other people do that before. It's not my idea. And one of these boxes says Homer on it, so that's very much a clue. But anyway, these books are mostly mysteries right now. You can't see quite what they are, but I will one by one show you what they are, these 8 books that I got for Christmas. And then I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you in the comments if you got any books for Christmas. I want to know what they are, what you're planning on reading first, what you're most excited to read. I think we can all have fun talking about books that we got for Christmas, hopefully. So I'll mostly just do a quick intro to each of these books today because I think most of them will appear on my channel several times in the future. But there's one book that I probably won't talk about on my channel again and that you probably did not see coming. So that'll be a fun mystery reveal at the end. Okay, the first book that I opened up for Christmas, and also the smallest one, conveniently, is A Wizard of Earthsea, which I am really excited to read. And my friend who sent me this also sent me a baby dragon with it. How awesome is that? So I really don't know too much about the plot of this. I've been kind of trying to keep it that way because I want it to be a surprise, but I am just excited to have a fairly short, simple, I think, middle grade fantasy read. It's been a while since I've picked up a classic middle grade fantasy like this, and I am really excited to just see what's in the story and hopefully discover a series that I will want to keep reading. Second is Rhythm of War, which I have not read yet somehow, even though I've read the first 3 Stormlight books, but I was waiting a bit on Rhythm of War so that I could read it a little bit closer to Stormlight 5 coming out. So I will plan to go ahead and start this pretty soon, and yes, it is still quite a while until we're going to have Stormlight 5, but that's okay. I was going to have a hard time waiting much longer on this anyway, and now I have an excuse to go ahead and read it, even if I have to do some Stormlight review before the 5th book comes out. So, oh, I'm just realizing I haven't read the back cover blurb yet, so that will be fun to do, and I'll try to see what I can figure out from that. But yeah, I am really getting excited to read this one. Third is Beren and Luthien. So this is another one of the books from the Silmarillion and from the Lost Tales and from J.R.R. Tolkien's other writings about Middle-earth, about the universe of The Lord of the Rings. So I know the basic plot of this one, and I've even heard some excerpts from this book, but I have not read the whole book, so there's going to be quite a bit of content in here that's going to be new to me or just really fun to review and look back on. And it'll complete my collection because I already have The Children of Hurin and The Fall of Gondolin, and this one is the 3rd of the 3 great tales of Middle-earth, as Tolkien called them, and it's also the first chronologically of those 3 tales, so I'm reading those all completely out of order. I have not done a good job of reading any of these books in the right order, but I am excited to catch back up on it now. And along the same lines, number 4 is The Fall of Numenor. So this is the other one of these books that has been created from content out of the Silmarillion and also Tolkien's other writings like History of Middle-earth and Lost Tales and Unfinished Tales and all that stuff. And so this is the first actual book of content from Middle-earth's second age, so that is really exciting. If you guys have been watching The Rings of Power, then you're familiar at least with the island of Numenor, and, you know, spoilers, it falls. So I know, again, from the Silmarillion that it's a really interesting and compelling story of why and how it falls, so I'm really excited to go back to that in more detail, because I don't remember all that many details from the Silmarillion when I was reading it. And I also happened to be at a perfect place in listening to very old episodes of the Prancing Pony podcast for this, because I just came to the episodes on Akallabêth, which is the section inside the Silmarillion book that talks about Numenor and its fall, so that'll be really well timed. I can listen to those while I read this, and that will be fun. And it's one of those books that comes with its own red ribbon bookmark, so that's always fun. 5 and 6 I will show together. So this is the Homer box, the Iliad and the Odyssey. So I will be rereading these this year. I read the Odyssey in 2020 and the Iliad then in 2021. So yet another instance of me not reading things in the right order. I did not understand at the time that the Odyssey is essentially a direct sequel to the Iliad. It deals with the same people, largely just later in the timeline. So I'm looking forward to reading them actually in order this time. And I also think that they're the kind of classic that you're going to get a lot more out of on subsequent reads rather than on the first read. 7 is Fairy Tail, and this is volumes 1 through 5, I believe. So I am journeying into the world of manga for the first time. I'm really excited. I've already read the first couple of pages, and it's going to be a really interesting reading experience because I am not used to reading comic books or graphic novels or anything else that is a book but in a primarily visual format. So I think I will have to get used to that a little bit, but I was already really enjoying it, and this is just going to be so different from everything else I'm reading that I think I'll really enjoy that, and I think it'll be a good refresh for my brain to help me focus on other things too. But yeah, again, I don't know much about the plot of this, so I'll be really curious to see where the story goes, but it already seems interesting and kind of whimsical and a little crazy, so definitely looking forward to that, and maybe I will love this and want to read a whole bunch more manga in the future. And last but not least, you did not see this coming. This is Armies of Lord of the Rings, the Middle-earth strategy battle game. So this is a companion to the rulebook for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. And yes, that exists. This is a real thing. I did not know what this was. I thought this was the actual game, but the actual game is just vastly larger and more complex than I had any idea about. So I had never heard of this thing, and this one also has a cool bookmark. It's a really neat book. It's basically notes on a game that is essentially a tabletop RPG, but without the role playing because the characters are already invented. But what's crazy is that it has pictures and details and descriptions and stats for literally every character in Lord of the Rings. And I don't just mean like every major character, I mean every character in Lord of the Rings, including people who are only mentioned in Lord of the Rings, including people who are dead by the actual timeline of Lord of the Rings. And it has like all the different Nazgul with names and backstories, and it has stuff about like Khand and Harad and these cultures from Middle-earth that I knew basically nothing about. And it's got like ancient Gondor and Arnor stuff in it. It's really nuts. It's got the Ents, and it has all of this stuff about like alliances between armies that is kind of useless if you don't have the game, but it's also just kind of mind-blowing that somebody took the time to make all this. And it's really well done and really interesting. So I've been enjoying just looking through it, and it's a cool conversation piece. So it's not a fiction book, really. It's not the kind of thing that I will probably talk about on my channel again, but I am just kind of fascinated that it exists, and the nerdy people out there like me will probably appreciate that it exists. And I just think it's kind of fascinating, and I will probably take it out and look at it a few more times just because, I mean, there's really nothing else like this that I'm aware of. Okay, that was my Christmas book haul. So again, let me know if you got any books for Christmas and what you're most excited to read in the upcoming year. And next I'm going to be making some videos about looking back on my 2022 reading year and then looking forward to my 2023 reading year. So I'm excited for that, and I would love to have you join me for those adventures on my YouTube channel as well. So until then, I will see you next time, and thanks for journeying with me. Bye!